Often, when we hear the word therapy, most of us picture someone who's kind of far away, or we think of someone who's mandated to go to counseling either by a judge or even by a spouse. Or we think about the person laying on the couch and just rambling off whatever's coming to mind. Or we think about someone who is just downright crazy. But what is really therapy? That is what we're going to talk about today. And most importantly, how can you find the right counselor for you? Counseling is a safe space where you are feeling accepted, where you are feeling supported by a professional. It's a place where things are confidential and you get to be the real you and have someone who understands you and then helps you to improve your life with skills. Counseling can also be in the group setting, which is also confidential, but where you may truly feel supported by others who are going through the same thing that you are doing while in the midst of a facilitator. Now that we know what counseling is, let's talk about what counseling is not. Counseling is not a place where you are laughed at, you're just embarrassed to even speak about what's vulnerable. It's not a place where you're judged by someone else and someone else is placing their own values on you, or you're shunned or made to feel less than. Counseling certainly is not where you just get advice. Like you would get advice from a family member, like your great aunt, who tells you all the things that are right and all the things that are wrong and all the things that you should be doing better. And counseling is certainly not a magic bullet where everything in your life is going to be perfect. Now that we've gone through a little bit of what counseling is versus what it is not, the next question becomes, how do you find the right therapist for you? Today, I am going to give you 4 steps that you should take in helping you find the right therapist for you. You've heard the saying before that finding the right therapist is like finding the right partner. You go on several dates, go through several bad ones, and hoping that you'll find the good one. But could there be a way in which you can have a higher success rate of finding the right fit for you? Step 1, finding the right counselor. You want to make sure that you find a therapist that specializes in no more than 3 to 5 specialties, disorders, or treatment modalities. The reason for that is because experts usually develop specialty areas and get extensive training in those areas. So you want to make sure you find a therapist that works specifically in the diagnosis and or symptoms that you're experiencing. For example, if you find that you're feeling sad a lot, you want to find a therapist that works with depression or anxiety, so they may be able to help you manage those symptoms successfully. The other thing I want to point out is that good therapists will refer out if they don't work within your specialty. Step number 2, you want to make sure that you do a 15-minute consult at least with any potential therapist. In that 15-minute consult, it may be by phone, it may be via Zoom. It allows you to get a feel for the type of person that you may be working with. You want to make sure that you ask the therapist about their modalities that they use for therapy, how they work, whether they only see clients online or see clients in person, whether they take insurance or not. And I also have a video highlighting the pros and cons about going through your insurance company for counseling. Step 3, check the credentials of the potential counselor that you are going to be working with. You want to check with the state board where the counselor practices to make sure that the counselor is legitimate. Each state board has a website which provides that information. You can also ask the counselor about their credentials and ask the counselor to explain their certifications. You want to make sure that you check the credentials before you work with someone, because the last thing you want is to find out that that person is a fake or a fraud. The next thing you want to do is use your first 3 sessions as trial sessions. In those trial sessions, you want to consistently look for and feel for a good fit. You want to make sure that things feel okay. You want to make sure that you're feeling heard by your therapist, that things are making sense. And if they're not, asking questions, thinking about it, reflecting on the sessions after you have them. Talking to your therapist if you feel like some things are off. And if you feel that after speaking to your therapist that they're not receptive or it isn't working for you, or you're finding that sessions are just frustrating and you're not getting anywhere, let the therapist know. Maybe there's some treatment or changes that you can do, or it is okay to stop. You're not stuck. You don't have to remain with this therapist, and you want to make sure that you are finding someone that is a good fit for you. Last but not least, if you find that that therapist doesn't work after 1 to 3 sessions, then that's when you want to continually be persistent in your search. You don't want to give up on yourself. This is one of the biggest investments you want to make in yourself so that you can be the best version of you. So start turning those no's for a counselor fit into a yes. Because once you have that counselor that is working with you, then you can begin to work toward your healing and your transformation. If you found this information helpful, please like and subscribe. You can also hit the notification bell to know when I post more videos. And lastly, you can check out my website at www.theartofconnectiontherapy.com to find out about counseling and more information.